Hello and welcome to Industry's Helping Hands. We welcome you to the Talk with Industry Expert session, where in this video we are going to have a conversation with an industry leader, Jenendra Anand Sir, who is a strategic level business development professional and has a successful track record of over 3 decades of business development operations and optimum utilization of existing assets. In his commendable work experience of 30 years in the industry, he was the executive director of the Shriram Pistons and Ring Limited. Then he was the CEO of very famous two-wheeler bikes electric vehicle company REVOLT Motors, and currently he is the group CEO of the Baxy Group, which includes 6 companies. Baxy is a part of a Continental Engines group, engaged in manufacturing and marketing all segments of three-wheelers. Continental Engines is a renowned name in the automotive industry, and the company's progression into the electric vehicle segment has further strengthened its foothold. While working in the executive positions of the different organizations, he strengthened the organization's business and developed teams across multiple locations and various functions for successful implementation of company policy. A truly passionate personality who is hands-on when it comes to smart and hard work towards the campaign development, and he is having an excellent ability to communicate well with the people across all levels. He has an accomplished career track of growing organization through meticulously crafted strategies. Personality is an unbroken series of successful gestures. The automobile sector is now at the cusp of electric vehicle transition, and the students across India wanted to know how the EV industry is unlocking job opportunities, and in this session we are going to find out the answer. If you want more updates regarding the electric vehicles, then you can visit our website www.industrieshelpinghands.com, and you can also download our mobile application. For more updates, you can join our WhatsApp group and Telegram channel. The link is in the description. Press the subscribe button to never miss any update on YouTube. Personality is an unbroken series of successful gestures. So in this talk session, let's meet a dynamic personality of the EV industry, Mr. Jenendra Anand.
Electric vehicle, yes, this is actually going to be the growth story of the future, what entire world is now talking about. If you look at India in particular, let's stick to India at currently, the kind of growth that we are seeing in electric vehicles, mainly in two-wheelers, it is phenomenal. So you need to be very innovative in your approach. So remember, design, R&D, supply chain, production, embedded software, then taking care of your entire IT related things, how you automate everything. That is also very important. Of course, above all, the traditional functions are always there. HR is there, finance is there, sales is there, marketing is there. But now what EV has brought in, a lot of digital scope in the promotions, a lot of digital scope in expanding the reach, making people aware of what all is there in the system. So having said that, I would like to summarize that scope of EV is very huge. You need to understand where you want to go, which segment you want to adapt. So there is always, I believe in one thing very strongly, that skill set can be taught, but attitude can't. What you guys are doing is absolutely right. It's a question of catch them young. That's why many companies now have their own ITI schools or colleges, whatever you call them. Many companies sponsors these ITI people and the diploma holders in addition to the degree holders, because bringing them from a lower middle class level or a middle class level so that they can also come and work on the bigger OEMs. So they catch them young, they conduct tests from them, they pick up the talent from them, educate them, train them, sponsor them, and then they absorb them in their own organization. Generally, what I've seen, especially when I go and talk in the, like recently, a few months back, I was talking to IIT Delhi students where I was a panelist. I was giving them some details about the organization and how the EV industry works and what are the pros and cons of this industry. And then in various other management colleges, wherever I go and speak. I'll just give you an example that the same thing I'm going to say here also. You, as a college, you need to have a prototype of a vehicle. And with youngsters like you who are shaping up this industry, helping hands, I mean, this is something very encouraging that you guys are doing. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. And I would say stay blessed always.
Hello and welcome to the Talk with Industry Expert session. Leadership is the capacity which translates the vision into reality. Today, it's an absolute honor for us to welcome one of the dynamic leader of the industry, Mr. Jenendra Anand Sir. We wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, on our platform, Industries Helping Hands, and thank you so much for joining us today.
You're always welcome. A very good afternoon to all of you.
So I would like to say to our student community across India, this session is going to be very helpful and fruitful for you because Jenendra Sir is a strategic level business development professional who has a successful track record of over 3 decades of marketing and business development. He is having a phenomenal journey starting from tire industry to oil and lubricant industry, then to FMCG, then to OEM industry. He is he was the executive director of the Shriram Pistons and Ring Limited. Then he was the CEO of the electric vehicle company REVOLT Motors. And now currently he is leading one of the largest group, Baxy Group, which includes 6 companies. So it's a great honor for us to welcome you, sir. And so many feathers of success and achievements on your hat in your 35 years of commendable journey on the industry. So, sir, because of your generous personality, you are an industry leader, but today you are giving your valuable time to the students of our country. So, I would like to say to our student community, this session is like a knowledge bank for you. So, I would like to know you from you, sir. It's the time for the electric vehicle revolution. And whenever any new technology comes, it opens the door of job opportunities. So I would like to know from you, sir, how the electric vehicle industry is unlocking the job opportunities and how the students can make their career in this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I mean, that was really a warm executive summary. I must say that you spoke about me. Only one small thing I would like to correct. Not 35 years. I'm 30 years only now in the system. So maybe 5 years down the line, where I am, what I am. So that depends on the kind of journey that every individual takes. But yes, now coming back to the point, electric vehicle. Yes, this is actually going to be the growth story of the future. What entire world is now talking about. If you look at India in particular, let's stick to India at currently. The kind of growth that we are seeing in electric vehicles, mainly in two-wheelers, it is phenomenal. Who could have thought that within actual 2.5 years of operation, these EV two-wheelers would have taken industry by storm. Almost they are sitting at 5% of the total overall volume that is being sold in India. In good old times, we used to sell almost 2 million vehicles in India. That is, I'm talking about per month, huh? It's not per year figure. I'm just referring to two-wheelers. But now, gradually, because of the COVID and the other pandemic-related activities, the industry came a little bit down because of the mobility also reduced. And the average figure that is hovering around for last year or so is around 15 lakh vehicles per month. That is 1.5. So out of that, if EV has reached 5%, which was as on 31st March, if we talk about the number of 2022, it was more than 75,000. Now here I'm only referring to the high-speed vehicles, which is the data reported by the Vahan or the government that comes, because that is related to the registration. You can add equal number or maybe more number of the low-speed vehicle also, which are just available off the shelf, and I can say that more than 300 vehicle manufacturers are making those low-speed vehicles also, which is majorly scooters only. So you can very well imagine, in practicality, the number has gone almost to 10%, although the reported numbers is close to 5%. Now moving back to that, the way these numbers are climbing. So two-wheeler is 5%. If you talk about cars, it's almost 2%. Commercial is less than 1% as we speak, but the future is very bright. And the farm side, if you see, it's yet to start. But however, the talks are already on, the R&D is going on, and you might see some improvement or something coming up there also. Now coming back to the EV as an industry, normally we divide industry into two parts. One is the ICE engine, which is an internal combustion engine, and one is an electric vehicle. Of course, we have CNG vehicle also, which is, but we classify it under ICE engine only. although there's a different fuel or different way of vehicle operation. So if you look at the ICE engine, there are more than 1,000 parts that goes into the engine, whereas you look at EV, hardly 10 or 12 parts. In a total vehicle making, less than 250 parts are used, which includes your battery, your controller, your ECU, your wiring harness, your mainframe, your small frame, your tires, your handles, your bars, your speedometer, everything included is less than 250 parts. So the industry is squeezing, but in number of parts, but it's becoming highly specialized kind of a thing. If you used to talk 2 years back, people were not aware that even India can make electric motors. And up to what kilowatt hour? 10 kilowatt hour, 15 kilowatt hour. The talk were on that up to 2 or 3 kilowatt hour motor will be available in India. But now if you look, most of the companies, I would not name those companies, but they are beautiful Indian companies, very well structured Indian auto component makers who have ventured into this motors, and they're doing really well. Similarly, as per the government of India's Make in India initiative, all the parts, I repeat my words, all the parts are now available in India. Now it is up to the Indian vehicle manufacturer whether they want to use Indian parts or they are still interested in importing from outside India. As per my experience, Revolt Motors, where I worked, we were 100% make in India product. Only one thing that government of India also allows is lithium cells, because those cells, as we speak, are not available in India. Although the effort is on how to make them available in India locally also. So those cells are to be imported, but all the battery management system, all the casing, how it is to be fitted, what is the battery swapping module that you want to introduce, everything is being done in India. So you can imagine ECU, controller, battery, all the chips, tires, the frames, the handle, the speedometer. Speedometer talks everything about it. It's not the traditional speedometer. It communicates with you. It communicates with your app that you can have in your mobile phone. You can swipe to start your vehicle. You can know your reading habits. Everything comes under the speedometer, and speedometer transmits it to your mobile app. So the kind of artificial intelligence and the embedded software that is now growing up, which has become a very huge revenue generating model for any vehicle manufacturer, is phenomenal. So the kind of, I would say, that lines that are open for the students who are still studying in their engineering or 12th or any other line of business is software related, hardware related, batteries and controllers related, then auto components related, which is purely the frames or the body of the any vehicle, and then how you integrate those systems with each other, how these systems talk to each other. Then coming back to this, then there is a production also. How you produce this vehicle is very, very important. I mean, you get all these parts from various vendors, then you have to assemble them, and then you roll out your vehicle. Of course, subject to meeting all safety norms as regulated by government. Then many OEMs have now started manufacturing these parts in-house. This requires technology. Now, whether you have the technology in yourself or you want to import this technology from some good European, German, or maybe American or any other Asian companies with whom you want to collaborate and bring in the technology to India. Above all, I would recommend, there are many startups which are working in these fields, and those startups are very successful. They have been able to build prototypes of many types of controllers, battery modules, or maybe you can talk about the motors. So these and the speedometers. So these people are hands-on in the technology also. We as leaders, industry leaders, or who are sitting in some position which matters in the industry, maybe even to minuscule level, we believe in encouraging those startups, encouraging those technology service provider, because it is always better to promote the talent within India rather than just importing something, copying paste, and then going ahead with it. So many people like me in the industry are willing to promote the talent within India. But for that, you need to have a vision, you need to have a clear strategy, you need to have a clear roadmap. Yes, what makes you interested? Is it the supply chain that makes you interested? It can be a very good field because some people are very good in procurement, negotiations, finding out. But here also, if you are done your engineering, it adds a lot of value because a lot of integration of the vehicle is required, a lot of judging and scale and drawing of the vehicle is required where you need to assess it. Above all, research and development. R&D is a very integral part of any organization which is into manufacturing or coming up with new technology. So R&D team, if you look at any of the organizations, especially the OEMs, because I'm referring to automotive industry only, it's very, very huge. Such a plethora of talent, I must say, we have in India. Plethora of talents. I mean, right from the entry level to the topmost level. People learn, people grow, people make different kind of changes. How does it become? With your attitude, with your approach, with your innovation, with your mind, with your ability to do different kind of tests, understanding, and above all, having patience to understand. Nowadays, the employers are also willing to help you the way you want to grow in the system. I also remember that in my one of my assignments, we had a chief designer who was hands-on with this designing part. He said, my aim is to match any world-class designer who's making BMW bikes or a Harley Davidson bike or a Ducati bike. I'll make a better bike than them." And he was working in that. We as seniors always used to encourage them that yes, okay, please do make it. Because you can very well understand all 25 days in a month, you cannot be working on a given model. You need to be creative in your approach. If you are creative, you can come out with different designs. Because bikes or two-wheelers, I would say that is also like a fashion industry. You know what happens in the fashion industry? Every 3rd month, 6th month, fashion changes. So you also get, the kind of shirt you are wearing or top you are wearing or the shirt I am wearing. This keeps on changing, evolving. Similarly, the bikes, the scooters, the cars, the commercial vehicles, the shape, the size, the look, the feel, the features, they keeps on changing. So you need to be very innovative in your approach. So remember, design, R&D, supply chain, production, embedded software, then taking care of your entire IT related things, how you automate everything. That is also very important. Of course, above all, the traditional functions are always there. HR is there, finance is there, sales is there, marketing is there. But now what EV has brought in, lot of digital scope in the promotions, lot of digital scope in expanding the reach, making people aware of what all is there in the system. So having said that, I would like to summarize that scope of EV is very huge. You need to understand where you want to go, which segment you want to adopt, because the way government of India is promoting it, and by 2030 they want to take it to 25 or 30% of the level. So you can very well imagine the kind of scope we are talking about. Would you believe it? There is a shortage of talents when you're looking at those talents for the EV players. There's a huge shortage of talent. When I was trying to search for many people, it was very difficult for us to get it. And when there is a shortage of talent, then you can very well understand the market value of the talent goes up. So end of the day, we work for two major things. One is for respect. Second is for money. Respect automatically comes with your work and your working culture and your environment where you work, and the money comes because of your talent. So that's all I would like to say on this point.
I believe that, sir, leaders are the great simplifiers, and it's absolutely shown in your personality, the way you simplified the things. Like you are the industry leader, but today, in your whole answer, the way you simplified the things for the students, it is really commendable. It is the, I would say, it is the giving of your 30 plus years of experience in the industry, sir. As you have mentioned, sir, like we also feel that in a startup, there is a big problem of the skill gap. So I would like to know from you, sir. You are having already the 3 decades of experience, like the students for which we are conducting the session, they are of age 24 or 25, and your experience is like 30 years. So, what are the skills you are looking among the students, sir, when you try to take them onto the industry, sir? I would like to know your views.
Sure. See, generally, since it's a technical field, so I'll be very honest, most of the people, leave aside again, I say the traditional fields like HR, finance, uh, There also technical people always help, but where you need CAs or you need people with MBAs and all those things. But rest of the functions you need engineers, or at least the design aspect of engineers, or R&D engineers, or it can be mechanical, automobile, electrical, electronics, and then software related skill set. End of the day, first thing that we look in every aspirant or every new person who wants to come on board is that what is the attitude he has, what is the kind of passion he is carrying toward his work. So there is always, I believe in one thing very strongly, that skill set can be taught, but attitude can't. So skill set, even if you are lagging in something over a period of time, you can very well learn, catch up, if you have a passion to do the things right in the right manner in the first go itself. So I would recommend that either software as a line should be taken. There engineering is not required, but you should be very good with numbers, very good with software, very good with coding, very good with understanding the total system. And then, of course, the engineering side, you have many engineers lines that are available, so that you can work for supply chain, R&D, digital marketing, you can work for sales also, you can work in parts industry also, and you can work in, like a firm believer, R&D also. So there are many things that matter. And of course, it's easier said than done, but in the R&D also, it's not just the parts which is important. It's again the integration of electrical and electronics things. There's a difference between electrical things and electronics things. These both things should also talk to each other. So a lot of skill set that is required, a lot of things that are required, but this is hardcore technical things. So, I mean, can't help it. One has to be very technical bent of mind and with a technical qualification.
Totally, yes,
And
absolutely all right, sir.
college university doesn't matter as long as you have that attitude, you have that aptitude, and you have the desired skill set.
Definitely, it's the attitude which keeps you and makes you move towards the altitude also. So basically, Ashish Karuskar sir, you are leading the project head of the electric vehicle courses at Industries Helping Hands. Today, I would say it's a great opportunity for you because Jenendra sir is like a book of knowledge. So would you like to ask anything related to upskilling?
Yes, sir, because we are also connected with so many colleges and the students. So many students are not so skilled as per the demand of the industry. So what are your views regarding the upskilling of the student for the EV industry and in which field they have to focus on? Because there are lots of different fields also, charging stations, battery technology, motors related and mechanical designing related. So in which field you want to give you so that the students will take that opportunity and be in place in the EV industry?
To be honest, all these things what you're talking about, I mean, I cannot differentiate between all these parameters you say, whether it's a motor or controller or technological things or electric or electronics. Everything is equally important, and a person should be hands-on with all these things. What you guys are doing is absolutely right. It's a question of catch them young. That's why many companies now have their own ITI schools or colleges, whatever you call them. Many companies sponsors these ITI people, and the diploma holders, in addition to the degree holders, because bringing them from a lower middle class level or a middle class level, so that they can also come and work on the bigger OEMs. So they catch them young, they conduct tests from them, they pick up the talent from them, educate them, train them, sponsor them, and then they absorb them in their own organization. So that's a lot of things which are happening nowadays. But still, if you want me to single out something, I would suggest that person should be very efficient in software. The software technology, especially the embedded software and AI, that's going to rule the world. That they can do anything. I mean, rest every function is going to follow. Having said that, this is purely my individual opinion.
Absolutely, sir. Like AI is the need of the hour, and when an experienced person like you, who is saying that AI is the wonder, AI is the future as well as the present, then definitely the student should have to focus more on it. So I would like to say to our student community, right now you have again a very good advice from the student, from the sir. So please start working on your AI and the software related things that sir has already mentioned. Sir, I would like to know your opinion as you have mentioned when the skill gap problem is large, then the talent must be very expensive. And right now, the students of our country who are going to be the future workforce are nurturing in the institutions like colleges. I would like to know your opinion, sir. What are the suggestions and advices would you like to give to the training and placement cell of the colleges so that they can improve on their curriculum and start preparing the students for the electric vehicle industry?
See, the training and placement cells of any college, generally what I've seen, and especially when I go and talk in the, like recently, a few months back, I was talking to IIT Delhi students where I was a panelist. I was giving them some details about the organization and how the EV industry works and what are the pros and cons of this industry. And then in various other management colleges, wherever I go and speak, I'll just give you an example that the same thing I'm going to say here also. You, as a college, you need to have a prototype of a vehicle. So what by prototype I mean to say, just buy any vehicle. I mean, it can be a car, it can be a two-wheeler. It doesn't cost so huge money, and the college can certainly afford this. And then teach the students hands-on what it is, what has gone into this vehicle, what makes this vehicle run. I'll just give you an example. Like I use the word swipe to start. All of us have some kind of a cable connection which shows a satellite dish antenna connection at our home, just like Tata Sky or Airtel or anything. What they do, if you don't pay the fees on time or their annual subscription on time, what happens? They deduct it from the back end. It will just be a TV. You can't see anything regarding their channel and all. So that what technology has come in the bikes or two-wheelers also, especially in the bikes where I was working. We were having the technology wherein we can stop the bike wherever it is if you have not paid the EMI to the bank or EMI to the whichever financial institution, or you are trying to run away with the bike. That kind of technology has also come. Then, like I was talking about, how many carbon footprints you have saved, what is your driving habit, what are the potholes, how do you drive, how you can maximize the output from the same battery. See, I drive a two-wheeler, same battery, same company, same bike. I get an average of, say, for example, 100 kilometers. You drive the bike, same everything remains the same. You get an average of 80 kilometers. I'm saying everything remains the same, including the traffic. So that is purely on the driving habit. So these softwares, this AI, they talks about what is your driving habit also. So now, first thing, colleges or the placement cell should have the prototype of a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler or whatever they want to focus on. Secondly, they should talk to the OEMs and organize a visit to their assembly line, production house, giving the students and look and feel of what's happening at the assembly line, what is their R&D, how they are working, and what are the various functions that are involved. From there, students' mindset can go, okay, I'm interested in R&D, I'm interested in spare parts, I'm interested in marketing, I'm interested in supply chain, I'm interested in sales, or I'm interested in R&D or electronics or electrical, or I can make a good charger for these bikes. Currently, the charger is on board. Can I make it off board? Currently, this is giving me this kind of data. How can I make it more efficient? How I can increase the speed? So there are many things. Certain experience can only come on hands-on. It can never come on the blackboard. So that's what advice I would like to give to all the upcoming students, to talk to their faculty and have this available.
So, sir, you have talked about many things and about the training placement and the students as well. So, at last, we are just wanted to know from you, what are your piece of advice, because your piece of advice are very valuable for the students also. So, who are watching the session. So, what are your suggestions to the students of our country, sir, to means who are looking to start their career in the EV industry?
Suggestion, that would be a cliche. Everyone comes and gives the gyan and goes away. So, suggestion is, see, I can only say follow your interest, pursue your interest, and take whatever you are doing as a hobby. Unless you are passionate about what you are doing, you will never achieve the kind of success you want to achieve. Because the bottom line is, you do not have interest in a particular skill, technology, or line of business, then you can, never be highly successful in that. You will be just a piece in the jigsaw puzzle. But you want to be a complete, hands-on professional, then you need to follow your passion. If you do not have interest in technology, do not go into that. Trust my words. And automobile is not the only line, because if you are talking about my career profile, I've worked in FMCG companies also, I've worked in medicine company also, I've worked in tire company also, I've worked in lubricant company also, which has, although some companies are related to automobile, but your interest can vary. But then ultimately I found that my interest is more in automobile, my interest is more in leading, my interest is more in managing the large turnovers and converting or turnaround of companies to taking them to a higher thing. So I'm pursuing my career in that particular direction. So every student, every leader, every youngster should follow his or her dreams and then accordingly pursue that. Then you should be very specific in your questions. Yes, this is the line I want to do. Now what shall I do in this? Shall I do this course? Okay, fine. This course is available where? Who's the best service provider? Do I have the money to do this? Or shall I look for sponsors? Or shall I look for a scholarship? Or shall I look for some NGOs who can help me pursue my career in this way? Everything is available. You just need to have the right contacts. And with youngsters like you who are shaping up this industry, helping hands, I mean, this is something very encouraging that you guys are doing. I mean, you are starting it as a startup, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a good business opportunity also for you. So this is your passion. You must continue to focus on that. So that's the only thing I can suggest.
Thank you so much, sir. I know that leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And within this 30 minutes of your 3 decades of experience, you have given your precious time to us. Thank you so much once again, sir, from our whole student community and from the whole team of Industries Helping Hand. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. And I would say stay blessed always.